I climbed to the top of the hot air balloon. I tried to open the vent valve with my elbow, but at over 100,000 meters high, the valve was completely frozen. Without a second thought, I stood on top of the balloon. I stomped hard on the valve again and again until it finally opened. The icy wind made my whole body shake. To keep the valve from freezing again, I wedged my boot inside it. Then I pulled out my knife and cut the shoelace. I forced the boot tightly into the gap of the valve, but in that freezing, airless sky, my body finally gave out. I fell hard onto the balloon's surface. The air slowly escaping made the balloon descend. Its size began to shrink, and I started sliding down. That sudden drop snapped me awake. I struggled to grab onto something, but there was nothing to hold. My body spun as I fell toward the ground. When I opened my eyes again, I was hanging upside down in the sky. The safety rope around my waist had saved my life. Then I remembered my partner inside the basket. I shouted for help, but he was already unconscious. It was all up to me now. I swung my body back and forth again and again until I reached the edge of the basket. I climbed inside, gasping for air, and rushed to check on him. No matter how I called his name, he didn't move at all. Tears rolled down my face. Then a miracle happened. He slowly opened his eyes. As the balloon kept descending, the air grew warmer. He looked at my wounded hands with guilt. If he hadn't insisted on flying higher, none of this would have happened. He took out his precious brandy and gently cleaned my wounds. Just then, snowflakes began to fall. He quickly grabbed a bottle to collect them, but soon I noticed something strange. The snowflakes around us had stopped moving. It meant we were falling at the same speed as the snow. If it continued like this, we'd be crushed when we hit the ground. I rushed to close the valve. Then I threw all the sandbags and ropes overboard. Even the expensive instruments went down, but the basket was still falling too fast. My partner suddenly had an idea. He told me to climb onto the metal ring above. He realized the basket was the heaviest part. He cut through one rope, then crawled to the other side to cut the next. Finally, the basket broke free and fell away. But even without it, we were still plummeting fast.